Hello, it's me, and today I'll be doing a review on the Bandai Movie Monster series, Destoroyah. And I bought this to customize, obviously, because honestly, overall, it's a bad figure unless you're going to customize it because of like the paint and the size and everything. But first, before we get into the figure, we'll go over the card, which I have ripped. And this was it was brand new. I bought it from Big Bad Toy Store, came in the packaging, this was still attached, and I ripped it, which is very annoying, honestly, because you can see the hole at the back of the neck, because I just tried to pull it out by there. I pulled it, my fingers slipped back and tore the actual card itself, which is quite annoying, but I mean, it's going to be customized, so it's not like I'm going to be selling it, but it's just a shame that the card's ripped because it's really nice. But on the front, it's got a really nice picture of the 1995 Destoroyah suit, which looks very nice. And the colouring on this Destoroyah is so different to the colouring on this Destoroyah. This is sort of like a purplish red. This is sort of like black. So it looks like a red base coat, like black armour, sort of, which I've never actually... I mean, I've watched Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, but I never really paid much attention to the actual, what he was painted, how he was painted, because I never realised this was sort of like armour for some reason. And it sort of reminds me of, if you've seen Attack on Titan, it reminds me a bit of the Armoured Titan, because he's got like these sinewy bits of muscly flesh and then the armor, which looks quite a lot like the Armored Titan. But then it's got 2017 with a golden 1962, which they always do. I don't know why it's always a 1962 Godzilla. Then Destoroyah. On the back, it's another really cool silhouette of Destoroyah, which looks like the front cover, like an anime or something. Godzilla vs. Destoroyah in Japanese. Guessing, I don't know what that says. Maybe Destoroyah or something. Maybe it says Movie Monster Series in Japanese. Some legal stuff there. Inside, Japanese. And another silhouette, which is the same as the front cover. And then a little Destoroyah image, which looks quite nice. But very nice card. I always love these. And I like them more than having a box, because it means they can make, like, say, if this was in a box, it would have to be a big box because of the tail. And what Playmates does is they have the tail cut off at, like, that point, and they have to attach it. But because, like, these are just, like, hanging up like this in a shop, they don't need a box, and it's just really nice. But now, onto Destoroyah. And I gotta say, it's absolutely brilliant. The only thing I wish, I don't care about the paint because it's easy to repaint it, but I just wish it was like even just like an inch taller. I mean, really, he should be 2 inches taller, but like it's so small. Like you see him next to like the neck of 54. Look how minuscule this Destoroyah is. Hopefully, when I get to customizing him, I'll be able to make him slightly taller, and even if I can't make him too much taller, when I animate him, I'll have him like standing on something so that he appears taller. But I don't really know. Hopefully, I can make him a lot taller and bigger. But the detail, I'll start with the head, and I'll use my super detail zoom camera, which the sculpt on the head is really nice. The thing that's weird is it's got this big bump here for the teeth, and there's just 2 massive teeth here, and all the rest is really smooth. But the eyes painted really, really nicely. There's no slop on them. Mandibles are a bit sloppy, same with the teeth. They're not... This is the bad side. This is the really just beautiful side, with all the really lovely, well-painted teeth. Horn, bit disappointing, bit too short, and it's already scraped off on the end, somehow. But the detail on the head's really nice. It's even got minuscule detailing on the tongue, which is absolutely brilliant. That it's got his sort of neck plating type things. And on the top of his head, He's got these things, which I've never noticed before on any Destroyer figure. If it'll even zoom, focus. These little horns here. There, now it's focused. But they're quite peculiar. I don't know why he's got them. They look just a bit off to me. But then the chest it's got is... I don't really know what you call that, because it sort of looks a bit like Kiryu's Absolute Zero Cannon. It looks like it would open up. I can't remember if it does in the film. I know at the end of the film, Godzilla punches his hand through it and rips it out, and these sort of open up because they've been torn out. But I don't know, I can't remember in the film if they do open up, like a sort of chest. I know he shoots a beam, but I don't know if it opens up. Then on the shoulders, it's got his really huge shoulder spikes, a bit like Space Godzilla, which looks quite nice. It's got all the sort of tendony flesh attaching it to the shoulder pad thing. The paint on these is terrible. There's slight red on the front, then nothing on the back whatsoever. The chest has just got a single spray of paint, which is just you look at that, and then you look at the card. It's pretty disappointing. But I know Bandai doesn't go for paint; they go for detail, and they don't go for articulation either. But they could have done a better job, especially with the feet. That's just horrible. But then he's got more of the armoured plating on his hips and his thighs, which looks very nice. On the back, see, this is the only bit of paint that I don't really mind, besides the eyes, is this big red streak down the back, which I don't actually mind. I might do that when I come to repaint it. But that's quite nice. Other thing I don't like is the way that they've sculpted his smaller wings into his body. Is just a bit annoying. They could have had them like these, so they could actually move, and if these were just sticking out, it would be so much better. But then he's also got all of his weird toes that come out of his knees, which looks quite gnarly and disgusting, which is quite cool. On the wings, the paint on this wing is really nice. There's a bit of slop, it goes over there, but it's really nice. This wing is terrible. There's bits missing, and then nothing whatsoever on the back at all. It's just really, really quite disappointing how little effort they put into the detail, into the paint. They could have at least put some on the back. It's just quite annoying. He's also got his tiny little pinching crab claw type things, but with 3 fingers, which looks quite nice. I'm a bit annoyed that they didn't have a swivel at the shoulders. Would have been quite nice, like they usually do with a figure, or even if they added a swivel there, that would have made it so much better. Then he's got more armoured plating down all the way down his tail. Then he's got the little pincer at the end, which to me looks a bit like the I don't know what you call it, but it's first-ish form, when you see it zoom past the camera and then somehow they take a picture and it turns into a 3D model. It looks a bit like that, which is quite nice. But it's got some really impressive detail on the end. You can see all these little individually sculpted lines here, which are very nice, and all the tiny bits of detail there. And something that I like is you can actually tell how they did the detail. If it'll zoom, focus, is they literally just got a sculpting tool and just gently pressed it all over the body, which I've got to admit looks really, really nice for the texturing of the armoured plating. And then inside there, you can see the sort of tendony flesh, which looks quite nice. Then he's got these triangular-ish shin pad looking things, which are quite nice actually. They sort of blend the two. I don't know if you call that another foot or just more spikes. What if they just cut it off there and that was his entire leg? That'd be quite funny. But then they even put detail on the bottom of the feet, which looks really, really beautiful. It's just really very well done. Then on the bottom it's got Bandai 2017 China code 2109 Toho Co Ltd TM. But the detail on this is very nice. I just wish, the paint doesn't bother me, but I just wish it could be slightly taller. Like that's all it needed, is just to be slightly taller. Like their first ever Destroyer, I'm pretty sure, is perfect size. It's the same size as the Monster Arts, and it's just beautiful. I would have bought that, but they are so rare to find on eBay, and if you find one, they're like something like 200 quid, which you could buy the Monster Arts for that price. So I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to attempt to make this guy slightly taller. And now I've gone over the paint and detail, which is detail nice, paint just really poor and just shoddily done. But now I'll go on to the articulation. So there are 4 points of articulation on this. No swivel at the arms or head or tail, but they've got wing movement, which is very nice. So you can have him, they can go all the way round, which is very nice. So they can both spin all the way around. You can have them completely down, which honestly to me looks quite weird. And then you can also have them in a sort of flying pose, which looks quite nice. And then he's also got a swivel at both of his hips, so they can go all the way around. Yeah, they can go all the way around on both sides. And yep, quite hard to do. These are easier. But I do like that they added articulation on the wings. I have to admit, that's pretty nice. I just wish they did something with these tiny wings, or like the shoulders, not shoulders, that bit of the arm, or maybe like a swivel on the tail. It's just a bit of a shame that they didn't. But I mean, there's not really much to do in this review. There's no accessories, no box, barely any articulation, but it's a nice figure. And since it's one of the only Destroyers you can get besides the Playmates, which is just terrible, the detail's basically gone on the Playmates, and it's really just low quality bad plastic. But now that I've gone over all that, I'll do a size comparison. So here he is next to the Bandai Movie Monster Series Biolante, which I don't know if they're in scale, because I'm not sure. No, I think Biolante is still too short, even next to this tiny thing. He's 120 meters. I'm pretty sure she's also, I think, 130-ish. So she should be pretty blooming tall as well. Here he is next to the NECA Godzilla 1994, which again is absolutely massive next to this guy. But if I have like him standing on something, he would look good fighting that Godzilla. Here he is next to my custom NECA Burning Godzilla 1995, who again is absolutely gigantic, and I'm probably not going to do a battle between these two. Well, not a serious battle. Here he is next to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1989, which I think once I customize this guy, he will be like an inch-ish taller, and he will be pretty cool size. So I'm either going to do him versus him, or him versus the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2001. Never mind, he's way too big actually. Even if I did make him taller, his head's just so much bigger than his. I think I'm probably going to do him versus 1989. And finally, here he is next to the NECA Godzilla 1954, who you saw earlier, who again is absolutely gigantic. But that about does it for this review. I don't know whether or not to recommend this. If you're a customizer, get it. If you've got a small Godzilla that might scale with it, maybe get it. But if you want something in scale with your figures with nice paint, this has good detail, but with nice paint and accurate size, I wouldn't recommend getting this one. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the Playmates is slightly taller and is in scale. But I'm not going to get that because this has nicer detail. But I'm not really sure whether or not I should recommend this. I bought it because I want to destroy and want to customize it. But yeah, that about does it for this review. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.